In a twist nobody saw coming, Donald Trump just did something that's got Americans buzzing for once. Not with controversy, but curiosity. With one bold, off-the-cuff remark, the President of America, Donald Trump, has turned the spotlight on a place that most Americans only daydream about: the Philippines. And now, thousands are seriously considering making it their new reality. So what exactly did Trump say that struck such a chord in 2025? What made his words go viral and launch a movement that's got travelers, entrepreneurs, and retirees all eyeing the same destination? Let's just say it wasn't your typical soundbite. From sharp insights about global economics to surprising praise for Filipino values, his comments are reshaping the conversation about where the American dream can actually still thrive. You thought Trump's influence was fading? Think again. His latest statement is sparking more than headlines. It's changing how people see the future. And just like that, the Philippines is back in the global spotlight. But this time, not just as a vacation escape. It's becoming something much bigger. A real, tangible option for Americans chasing a better life. And make no mistake, this isn't just a trend. It's already happening. Every day, more Americans are ditching their overpriced rent, burnout jobs, and cold gray routines. They're hopping on flights, heading to a place they once only saw in dreamy TikToks of Palawan beaches or heard about from a late-night Jollibee craving. But here's the million-dollar question. Why now? Why is the Philippines suddenly starting to feel less like a far-off vacation and more like a golden ticket? Sure, Trump lit the fuse, but it's what his words revealed that's fueling this shift. Americans are waking up to a tough truth. Life in the US is starting to feel like a losing game. Meanwhile, life in the Philippines? It's looking more and more like a fresh start. Let's break it down. America, land of the free. More like land of the 300-page rulebook and a cost of living that'll make your jaw drop. Want a decent apartment in a decent neighborhood? There goes half your paycheck. Thinking about retiring with peace of mind? Keep dreaming. Even grabbing a burger and fries with friends feels like a financial decision now. Now picture this. You step off the plane in the Philippines, and instantly, it just feels different. Warmer, yeah, but not just because of the weather. There's a vibe here. People are genuinely happy, and not the pasted-on smile for the customers kind of happy. The real kind. The kind that makes you stop and think, wait, have I been doing life all wrong? The food? Delicious. The rent? Almost laughably low. The beaches? Straight up screensaver material. And the people? If you're a single guy, fair warning, you might never want to come back. Filipinas still carry that timeless charm, graceful, kind, real, something that seems almost forgotten in today's America. So here's the kicker. What if the dream life you've been chasing in the US has been waiting for you elsewhere this whole time? In the Philippines, people still believe in real relationships, in family, in looking out for each other. Compare that to dating back home. It's like a job interview where the requirements are insane. Six-figure income? Check. Six-pack abs? Check. Must cook like Gordon Ramsay and invest like Warren Buffett? Double check. And still, you're not quite what they're looking for. But the moment that really got people rethinking their future? It was Trump's simple, almost offhand comment about the Filipino spirit, their work ethic, their strength, their resilience. He might not have realized it, but in the moment he exposed something America doesn't want to admit. We've lost our grit, that ability to hustle without whining, the instinct to value people over politics, a culture that still puts family first, not just during Thanksgiving with a side of passive aggression, but every single day. But this movement isn't just about values, it's about quality of life. And people are starting to realize, if the American dream is dying, maybe it's time to find a new one. Somewhere it's still alive and well. In America, survival often means burning yourself out. You hustle day in, day out, just to stay afloat. But in the Philippines, you can live in a high-rise, work remotely, and still have time to actually enjoy your life. Picture this. It's Tuesday, and you're on a beach, watching the sun melt into the ocean, snacking on fresh mangoes. Try pulling that off in LA without going broke or stuck in traffic for 2 hours. Here's the part more and more Americans are waking up to. Your money stretches way further over there. In the States, $1,000 barely gets you through the month. In the Philippines, it transforms your entire lifestyle. You're not scraping by. You're dining out, exploring islands, and living well. Transportation, it's cheap. Entertainment, everywhere. And best of all, it doesn't break the bank. And those beaches, honestly, they alone should have you rethinking your zip code. But it's not just about affordability. The Philippines actually welcomes you. Unlike countries that treat foreigners like walking wallets, here you're seen as part of the community. People smile. They make conversation. There's real human connection, something that's become rare back in the US. While Americans are glued to their phones, trapped in culture wars and endless outrage, Filipinos are outside, living life. They're hustling, laughing, making do with what they have, and somehow doing it all with more joy. And maybe that's why when Trump spoke out, it struck a nerve. Not because of politics, but because deep down, people know something's off. The American dream? It feels like a memory. But in the Philippines, that sense of possibility still exists. People are moving not out of protest, but because life just makes more sense here. You work less, live more, and even with a smaller paycheck, you feel richer. And isn't that what really matters? If you're still clinging to the idea that the American dream is going to magically fix itself, good luck. For everyone else, the Philippines is sitting right here, simple, beautiful, stress-free. More and more Americans are realizing something wild. The country their ancestors once ruled now offers the peace they've lost. Not out of obligation, but out of desire. Because after years of endless bills, burnout, and broken promises, they finally understand. Life doesn't have to be this hard. It can be good. It can be easy. It can be yours. That realization, it hits like a splash of ocean water and a fresh lumpia to the face. This isn't about politics. It's not even just about cost of living. It's about a fundamental shift, where people want to be and what kind of life they want to live. The old dream, work hard, buy a house, raise a family, retire comfortably. It's barely recognizable now. These days, it's more like work non-stop, barely survive, and maybe squeeze in a vacation before your knees give out. So people are quietly making their exit. Retirees, digital nomads, remote workers, they're all heading to the Philippines. And they're not just surviving, they're thriving. Their pensions go further, their stress levels drop, their smiles come back. Instead of rationing groceries in a gray suburb, they're drinking fresh coconut juice by the sea. Instead of paying a fortune for a shoebox apartment, they've got skyline views in a tropical paradise. And here's the kicker. It's not just older folks. Younger Americans are realizing they don't need to be chained to overpriced cities just to make a living. With Wi-Fi and a laptop, they can work from anywhere. So why not take those Zoom calls from a rooftop cafe with the sound of waves in the background? And it's more than just the scenery. It's about human warmth. In the US, people barely make eye contact. Every interaction feels like a transaction. In the Philippines, it's different. People see you. They say hi. They care. There's a vibe here. Genuine, heartfelt, refreshing. Even dating feels different. For American men burned out by a culture of emotional detachment, the Philippines offers a sense of connection. Relationships feel real, mutual. Women here embrace femininity, affection, and building a future together. Not competition, not coldness. So yeah, maybe it's not just about a beach or a cheaper rent check. Maybe it's about reclaiming a life that feels whole. And the question becomes simple. What are you still doing over there? They don't treat marriage like a sterile business deal. In the Philippines, it's still seen as what it should be. A real partnership. Two people who care for each other, support each other, and grow together. Imagine that. Back in the US, dating often feels like a never-ending game with no clear rules, just shifting expectations, emotional burnout, and nobody truly satisfied. But over here, it's refreshingly simple. And for a lot of men, that simplicity alone is enough to never look back. People here still believe in love. Not transactional, not competitive, but a deep, mutual connection. It's not about comparing paychecks, resumes, or who's winning in the relationship. It's about companionship. About choosing someone who genuinely enjoys being with you. And for many Americans, that hits hard. Because it exposes a painful truth. So much of what they were told about love, success, and happiness doesn't hold up anymore. But here's the part. No one tells you. Once you've experienced this kind of peace, going back feels impossible. The idea of returning to a life of constant stress, toxic dating dynamics, and never-ending hustle? It starts to feel absurd. You start questioning it all. Why did I normalize 60-hour work weeks just to survive? Why did I believe happiness had to wait until retirement, if I even made it that far? Why did I think loneliness and burnout were just part of being an adult? This isn't just a vacation vibe. It's not some temporary trend. This is a wake-up call. More and more people are realizing they don't have to keep suffering. The Philippines isn't some fairy tale escape. It's been here all along, quietly offering something better, waiting for people to finally choose themselves. Trump's comments might have sparked some headlines, but the deeper truth, the shift has already begun. The exodus is real, and those making the move, they're not looking back. 100 years ago, the idea of an American uprooting their life to move to the Philippines would have seemed absurd. People left the Philippines for America, chasing big dreams, chasing that golden land of opportunity. But now the script is flipping. The direction of migration is changing in ways no one saw coming. People who grew up on stories of Ellis Island and the American dream are now booking one-way flights to Manila, and doing so with intention. Because this isn't just about cheaper groceries or beachfront living. It's deeper than the tropical climate or escaping political noise. It's about rediscovering what makes life feel whole. Community, simplicity, connection. Things that have quietly eroded in the West. America has become a place where stress is normal, connection is rare, and joy often feels like a luxury you can't afford. Every day is a cycle. Work, spend, repeat, until there's no energy left to live. At some point, people stopped seeking vacations. They started searching for escape hatches. For decades, Filipinos worked hard to build lives in America. They came as nurses, teachers, engineers, chasing a future, believing that if they worked hard enough, they'd earn their piece of the dream. And many did. They built families, businesses, entire communities. They added a richness to American culture that's still felt today. But now the roles are reversing. The same country that once welcomed Filipinos with open arms is now watching its own citizens pack their bags in search of something better. And ironically, they're finding it in the very place so many Filipinos once left behind. But here's what's really exciting. This shift isn't just about retirees chasing sunsets or digital nomads chasing Wi-Fi and mojitos. It's younger folks, mid-career professionals, entrepreneurs, people who used to think success meant grinding it out in the US. Now, they're realizing they can rewrite the rules entirely. Because once you step outside the American bubble, you start to see everything differently. Take something as simple as human connection. In many American cities, it's like everyone's there, but no one's really there. Eyes glued to their screens, walking past each other like ghosts, barely exchanging a glance. In the Philippines, it's the opposite. People smile at you. They stop to say hello. They actually care how your day's going. It's not an act. It's just how life flows. That's why so many expats say it instantly feels like home, before they've even unpacked. And then there's the work culture. In the US, hustle is practically a religion. Work yourself to exhaustion, wear your burnout like a badge of honor, and hope one day it all pays off. But in the Philippines, people work hard, sure, but they don't live just to work. There's still a deep understanding that life, real life, happens outside the office. Time with friends, with family, with yourself, that still matters. And for someone who's spent years stuck in an endless loop of deadlines and performance reviews, that kind of balance feels revolutionary. Now let's talk about money, because this part really flips the script. You can live in a high-rise, enjoy fresh meals daily, even work remotely, all for less than the bare minimum back in the States. It's not just more affordable, it's liberating. No more paycheck-to-paycheck panic. No more anxiety over surprise bills or insane rent hikes. For once, you're not just surviving, you're actually living. And the food? Let's just say if you're used to fast food and frozen dinners, you're in for a serious upgrade. Fresh seafood, vibrant local markets, home-cooked meals full of flavor and love. And it's not just about eating, it's about sharing time with people, slowing down, and enjoying the moment. Now, let's be real for a second. Dating is a huge reason some guys are making the move. In America, dating has become a high-pressure game, full of filters, expectations, and emotionally draining competitions. But in the Philippines, it's different. Women here still value romance, femininity, real connection. Relationships aren't power struggles, they're partnerships. It's a dynamic that feels genuine. And for a lot of men, that's a breath of fresh air. But beyond just dating, it's the culture that makes the difference. The Philippines is a beautiful mix of modern life and timeless tradition. You've got sleek cities with towering skyscrapers, but also peaceful towns where life slows down and people still greet each other like neighbors. And the best part, you don't have to choose one or the other. You can have both. Yet despite all this, some people still hesitate. Because yeah, leaving everything behind. That sounds wild. It's hard to walk away from the life you've always known, even if that life is full of stress, loneliness, and pressure. But what if everything you believed about success, about happiness, about what life should look like, was wrong? What if happiness isn't something you wait for, grind for, or earn after retirement? What if it's available right now, just not where you've been told to look? That's why more and more Americans are showing up in the Philippines. Not because of politics, not because of headlines, but because deep down, they're waking up. They're realizing the American dream they've been chasing might not be the dream at all. And now that they've tasted something better, they're not going back. Once people experience life in a place where happiness feels natural, where stress isn't a constant, and every day doesn't feel like a grind, the idea of going back, it just doesn't make sense anymore. The world is changing. People are waking up. And now they're asking the question, what if the good life isn't back home, but right here? the Philippines is ready with the answer. So are you ready to take that step? If this video resonated with you, go ahead, subscribe, and drop a comment below. And don't forget to share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Thanks for watching. And to everyone who believes in this beautiful country, God bless you.